Welcome to our midweek message. This is Pastor Reed, coming to you from First Baptist Church of Olathe. Over the course of the last 5 weeks, we have been looking at kind of a theological perspective on how we deal with the epidemic of loneliness and isolation. This last week, we looked at how we are placed in amongst a group of people that's meant to be shaped by the gospel. And we saw how in Acts 2:42 through 47, how the early church was committed to practices that would help them to understand who they were in relationship to God, in relationship to Jesus, and honestly, in relationship to one another and the world. Now, I love coming to church for worship. I think that our worship crew does an absolutely amazing job, not only in how they play and sing, but also in the hearts that they bring for worship. But the truth is that as we saw in Acts 2:42 through 47, and really in the entirety of Scriptures, that we as a people, the church isn't just a place you go to worship, but the church is a people that you are. And we here at First Baptist Church of Olathe have this understanding that as we are God's church, we are meant to both gather and go. And you saw that rhythm in the life of the early church. They gathered together and devoted themselves to the teaching of the apostles and to the fellowship that they had with the Spirit, to the breaking of bread and communion, and to prayers. And we saw how they also then gathered from home to home in their communities. They went into their communities and gathered and moved between homes and met people and spoke truth over them. And we also saw how they gathered together to go to worship at the temple. So they gathered and they went. They gathered and they went. For us, we say gather and go. But that's who we're supposed to be, a people who both gather and go. We're supposed to be a people who go into our communities, go into the world, and take with us our understanding of God's gospel, that He loves us, that He sent His Son to die for us, to be raised again, to redeem us, to call us to be His children. But the cool thing is that as He calls us, or as He commands us to go into our communities, we don't go into our communities alone. We aren't even the first ones to show up in our communities. But just as you came to faith because the Spirit of the living God was at work in your life, through the witness of others, God is at work in our neighborhoods. God is at work in the homes that surround us. God is at work in the hearts of those He is calling to be His. And so as we go into our neighborhoods, we go knowing that He's already been at work. And all He's calling us to do, all He's commanding us to do, is to go and join Him there. We are a church who both gathers and goes. Go knowing that you don't go alone. That not only do your brothers and sisters go, but the Spirit of the living God has already been there at work, and the Spirit of the living God is within you as you go. Go with that knowledge. Go with that power. Go in His purpose to bring light into the darkness. Be a church who gathers and goes. Be blessed. Be a blessing. See you next week.